Hello and welcome back to week 2, unit 5 of our OpenSAP course, SAP Fiori Overview, Design, Develop and Deploy. Today we will talk about some tools and practices how to design, and then we will actually roll up our sleeves and do some hands-on designing. While doing that, we will also cover some common pitfalls that UX designers come often across to prepare you for those. Okay, the first tool we will be using is pretty high-tech, the common whiteboard. You might think, hey, this guy should know about a mockup tool by now, so why is he starting on a whiteboard? Well, because everybody should be able to contribute. Keep in mind, the designer might be able to sketch the solution fast, but the designer is not the only contributor. Everybody in the team should be able to contribute to the ideas visually. It does not matter who it is, end user, process owner, architect, team assistant, it doesn't matter. Everybody should join in. Always start on the whiteboard, because it's not only easy to do for everybody, but it's also easy to change, physically and mentally. So if anybody drew a line, I'm not destroying anything by changing the line. Be agile and let everybody change anything. Once you have a first draft, you can go ahead and use a mockup software. Wireframes or low-fidelity mockups already show correct proportions and dimensions, and mostly feature mockup content. They can be very easily created, and are used to discuss the basic ideas, since no images and colors are distracting. One big disadvantage is that often users cannot imagine what the real screen would look like, and can be disappointed by the result. The upside is that the barrier to critique a design or suggest a change is very low. High-fidelity mockups, on the other hand, show concrete controls and exact proportions and often contain real or refined data. They often come in full visual design with all details and all colors. The upside of high-end mockups is that everybody can see the final application would look like, and that it also leads sometimes to the disadvantage. Since users see the final product already, they assume it is already done. So it will only take like a couple of moments to finalize. So there might be a higher resistance also to change aspects, since it looks like it took a lot of time to come up with. In a few cases, people tend to start discussing rather colors and shapes than the user experience and the process behind it. So low fidelity and high fidelity can both be used with interactive elements to facilitate an easier way of validation. So to design, we first need an end user. Meet Lisa. Lisa is a customer service agent at Polaris Fabrics Limited. So let's talk a little closer about Lisa's persona here. Lisa's persona could look something like this. She's a 35-year-old single with 8 years of experience that likes photography and modern art. She works mostly with global buyers on the customer service line and is rather experienced in all systems. Her main goal is to provide the best customer service for Polaris Fabrics. To help customers effectively, she needs fast access to all customer, shipment and order-related data. Her biggest pain points are the unavailability or delay of data, and that she has to switch systems often depending on the task. So Lisa is going to her desk in the morning at 8 a.m. She works at the headquarter office of Polaris with a regular desk setup. At 10:30, Dennis, which is a truck driver for Speedtrans, a shipping partner of Polaris, is having an engine problem with his truck. The truck broke down on what seemed to be a shortcut, so now he's stuck in the middle of nowhere and needs technical support. But first he has to call his scheduler. Glenn, the scheduler at Speedtrans, just got the call from Dennis and has to shift the delivery date since Dennis won't make it the next 2 days. And this is John, the buyer at the Customer Mountain. And if he doesn't get fabric by tomorrow, the production line will be affected. So Lisa needs to get the information that the truck broke down and needs to make different arrangements so Mountain can keep on producing. And this is exactly where our app is supposed to come in and save the day with all this magic. So in the end, Lisa should be able to call John proactively and tell him that he will get enough product to cover the delivery delay. For instance, she could send over an intern in a truck for special delivery. That would cover John and he could still run his production line so far. And since John is happy, Lisa's happy. So now at this point, we usually ask the end user a lot of questions to clarify the circumstances and understand it better. Like if they have a buffer planned in for those kind of incidents. What are the service layer agreements in place with customers? Or what data does Lisa need to find out what products are affected? So summing up, first Lisa needs to know if all shipments are on track. If something happens, she needs to know and find out what exactly is affected by that incident. Once she has learned that, she needs to see if there is a chance that the customer still can get his product in time. And at best, how to execute this the fastest way. So coming back to our task types from last unit, what do you think is represented here? Of course, it could be a routine task. I hope not. But I rather see a mixture of reactive task and the monitoring task. Let's check out the hints for those two tasks. So using Fury notifications will notify Lisa if there is an incident. The flexible column layout and object pages could help her to sort out what products have been affected. The list report floor plan enables her to search for deliveries in case she's being notified by phone. Seems to be a match. Let's look at the monitoring task. A meaningful KPI on home and overview pages means Lisa can see, for instance, how many incidents happened and how many products are affected right away. An overview page makes a lot of sense since Lisa needs to monitor the domain of deliveries. Okay, enough theory. Let's get our hands dirty and tackle the problem in depth. Okay, then let's try to help Lisa. Okay, first thing, we're starting on a whiteboard here, and we're trying to sketch just the rough information architecture that we're going to build up in a mockup tool, the next step. Okay, first, I think we should start on a launchpad. That's usually the one where we start. So let's just sketch a very rough launchpad here. We have some kind of this shell up here. And we have usually a lot of tiles up here that start the different applications. So for the first path, just assume that there is a notification of some sort that a system of the shipment partner sent off. So we could have some kind of notification up here that is, in this case, there would be some kind of an arrow. So we have this right line here and saying that this is a delivery notification. Okay, this would be the first thing. So we get a notification. So the first thing is that we want to use this notification just to jump over to exactly the point where we can take action. So this time we have a problem with a delivery. So we need to take care of these deliveries, see what kind of items were on that delivery truck. So we can jump directly to this specific delivery since we know which one it was. So here we need another screen. Let's see right here and zoom this up so we can have a little more detail. Also here we have the same shell than the other screens. And this, since we were looking at one object, which is a delivery in that case, we could just have an object page for that reason. So first we could have an image, which is helpful for a lot of things. So it wouldn't necessarily here, but let's assume we have a picture of the truck that is delivering all that. We have an identifier that is delivery 1, 2, 3, 4, and we have some of the identifying information up here. So so I know this is the delivery that I'm looking at, which is kind of important, and I might have some different aspects. So I want to know what's on this delivery, but I also have maybe need to know some specifics about the truck maybe. So we have different tabs down here, and the one thing that we're interested right now is basically just the list of items in that delivery. So we could have a table here with a table header, and in that table we have different items here that have some specifics, and we could just see, okay, for which customer is it, where does it go, when is it picked up, and these kind of things. So in order to take action now, Lisa needs to find out which of those things are important and which I need to take care of in a special delivery. So there might not be all of them very important, so we just need to pick out some. And to pick out some of those, we could have something like a checkbox here and just say, maybe we have a status somewhere saying this here is important and this is important, and the rest is maybe not that important. So I just need to know which one of those are very urgently needed, so I can just pick those out. So I would just have to check this one, and now I need to take action. So I need some kind of a button or an action here, and we can have this up here, and this would read create special delivery maybe. So by clicking on that, I would need to come to a new screen. And just take this, and of course from here to that. And on that new screen, I could create a special delivery. Also, that one special delivery could be an object. So again, I have some kind of a picture here that could read special delivery XYZ. And also we have the head up here. So, and now I don't need the read-only option, but I need an edit option. So I need to enter some things. So I need, I know which kind of customer is concerned, since this is picked up from the last one. I also have a table back here, which lists now only those items that I picked. And I think it was 2. Yeah, it was only 2. So I just delete those. And of course I can add some. Maybe the customer called me and said, yeah, we need this very urgent. So I had some kind of toolbar up here, which features a plus or a create, which I can click and then select something to add to this list. And I might want to have something like an option how I want to deliver it to that. So I could have a drop down here that would say, okay, I can do that by truck, or maybe if you live in a big city, you can have a bike messenger, which is faster than, or maybe by train, since it's very heavy. So, and down here we have a footer toolbar, which gives us the option to have a featured button, because that is the most common option that we choose here, which is save and cancel. Once that is saved, I created my special delivery and I'm basically done here. So this would be like the golden path where everything fits right in here. So, but there might be different paths. So it might not be really an option to have a notification since the truck driver just called me. So this is where I need to take a different path here. And we would have, for instance, one of these applications on my Launchpad, which would say maybe manage deliveries. And now I don't know which delivery it is right away, so I need to pick that out. So we would have a next screen. And now I need to pick out one specific item out of a list of a lot of items. And that always speaks to me to get a list report where manage deliveries. We also have our shell. And now I can filter down or search for a specific delivery. If I happen to know the number, I can just put it in and look for it. Otherwise, this is something where I need to filter down. Is it a specific truck driver? Is it a specific weight that I'm transporting? So this is where I have my filters. And I can just pick those things. That brings everything down to a specific item count that I can manage. And right here, we would have a lot of delivery items with a specific number. And among that would be my 1, 2, 3, 4, the one that I'm actually looking for. Okay, clicking on this, and now this speaks for another option that we have. This is a 100% list report, so it goes from all the way left to all the way right. But if I'm not entirely sure and I have to go back and forth a lot, so that speaks for a flexible column layout where I have a new screen. So as soon as I click on one of these items, the list would not disappear completely, but just go back down to like 33% of the screen. So that's still the same. I have my filter options just on a very small scale. And since now I'm clicked on one of those, and let's pick the right one. Let's say we clicked on this one. So I still have this in here. 2, 3, 4, and this one would then be highlighted. And of course the others would be still there. And now I can see the specifics of that on the right side, which would be again our object page that we had. Delivery 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's basically the same thing that we have up here on the right corner. Here it's in a flexible column layout, so we have two different layouts at once. And you have a lot more options because now you have to switch back and forth to make sure that you find the right one. And you have the same table in here. Again, with the check marks, so you can take immediate actions. And this one right here. And as soon as you click that special delivery, once you check those, you will get back basically to the same screen here. You can choose if you want to have several in once with a flexible column layout or not. A different option is, like the segue here, a different option is to have, again, another one here with also this one up here. This could be an alternative pathway to this one. So this could also lead to an overview page, which gives you a little more specifics on all your deliveries. So if you have to manage a lot of your deliveries, you could have an overview page that features, for instance, a large map. And on this map, you would see maybe some streets going up and down. And you can see all your trucks going on. And this one maybe would be red. This one would be green, which is okay. And this one just got to its destination. And once you click on that red one, you could get something like a pop-up. And this pop-up, to take this out here. This pop-up can give you more information on the one that you're looking at. Delivery 1, 2, 3, 4 is again, and this has a status broke down. So, and now you can take immediate action, and from here, since you identified exactly which one you want to take, you can go back to the screen or to the one in full screen options. Okay, that looks like a pretty good overview of our information architecture. Let's see how that looks like in a better version in our mockup, and let's see how we can get this interactive. So I opened up my Acture 9 here already, and I also loaded up my stencils, the Fiori 3 stencils version 174 in here, and I also included the fonts that come with the package, so the icon font and the font 72. So I already created all the pages we're gonna need. I did that just clicking at page, and for the first page we want to create the home screen. So what I'm gonna do is I use the search field here to search for home, and I'm gonna use the variant 1 here. Just drag this in, and the stencil pretty much creates basically everything we need. Just for time reasons, I pre-created some of the things that we're gonna need, and gonna paste them in here real quick. So we're gonna change this tile to delivery incidents here, and there's one incident here. So we need a notification, so I can just go down here and put in notification, and I get listed all the different notifications. Again, I pre-created this here. I paste this in here, and I just position it right here where the notification would be positioned. And just for good measure, I added the badge here that we want to have in the notification area up here in the shell. So just give me the indication there's one new notification. So in the end, I want to click on here and get to the next screen, and the next screen is going to be the delivery 1, 2, 3, 4 that I'm actually going to want to have a look at. So I have a new screen here already. And for this one, it's a specific screen where we already have all the details of that specific delivery that we're going to use. So in that case, I need an object page. I type in here object page, and there's an edit and a display version. Right here, we're going to use the display version since I'm just looking at data right now. I'm not editing it yet. So already here, this is created as a dynamic panel, so you just have to double click it to get the entire information, since there's basically a mask around it, so you can just see the part that's actually important to you right now. And okay, so if you want to change things, you just double click it and you have access to the text inside. And this one we're going to call Manage Delivery. And I'm going to push this icon out a little and give this a little more space. Okay, this works with all the text fields that we're going to go through. Since it takes a pretty long time to do that now on the video, I'm just deleting those things, and we'll just copy them in from a different sheet that I already did it in. But it's basically just double clicking and then changing the text. This is what I did here already. These are just detailed informations that we have about the delivery that we're going to manage. And just to display that a little better, I'm going to add a picture that you might have for a product or whatever. So the next section is the general information section. And then we have included items down here. So we're going to rename this. And I'll leave contact information for now. So again, this section is basically just double click and change the text that you want to display here. I'm going to pull in a new one. This I already created just for being faster, and I'm deleting the old one. Now, so you can just measure the distance to, since there was a third one here that was longer, and now we have to pull this up a little to get the right distance for it. There's one thing missing here. Needs to delete it. To measure the distance here, you can just see for the all in the beginning there are different distance thingies. You can just put them in here and then push this up, which we don't have to since I already created this. And I'm going to use this one here. And I'm going to delete the old table here. Okay, so we have the general information here. This we can delete again. And the included items, and there might be something below that, but we don't need that right now. We just close this dynamic panel and basically have exactly the page we need. So we could choose here the products that are very important, that need a special delivery. And now you need an extra button here just to create this from the selection. And you can just type in button here and select the right one. And rename this to maybe something like this. And that's basically what we want to have. So now, just to make it more interactively, then we go back to the home section. And if I want to click on this here, on this notification, I'm going to be taken right into the right delivery here. And for this, we're going to choose the default section of the stencils that comes with Axure 9 here. And there's something called hotspot. This is basically just a transparent area that you just pull over here. And this then we're going to change into interaction, create a new interaction, click or tab. Then we're going to open a link, since all of these are done as HTML pages. And then we just choose the one we want to navigate to. And that's basically it. So now that we have selected, or the user will select the ones that is needed as a special delivery, and click this here. And then we need another page called the new special delivery. This also is an object page, but change back to the right stencil version. And in here we're gonna choose the edit version, since now we're gonna edit information. And also here, I'm gonna change the page title. And basically replace all the information with the information that we need for our special object from the stencil. So this time I took out the image. Since it's a new special delivery, there doesn't need to be a picture. And we're gonna take this one out, rename this to general information. And this to included items. Okay, also here I pre-created this to just save some time. But all these elements you can find in these stencils, like an input field or select fields in different states. So whatever you need, it is in here. You just drag it in, and it's right there. And you just need to change the labels and the entered information. This we can delete since it was the second, and the first of if it was the first time, it would be already scrolled under here. So we can get rid of this. Don't need that here. Something to just measure the distance. And can delete this here. Wait, there's something missing. The included items is missing. And now something else, since we entered all the things that we wanted to, we already also need this right here, which is a photo toolbar. So whenever you have something that is completely done and you want to create it, just click on here on save. And now how to get here. So if we go back to our special delivery here, this is the button we're going to click. So again, we're going to jump into the default section, get our hotspot, put it over here, and create an interaction for it. Open link and choose the special delivery. And done. You can also, of course, get over a different. So go to go back, choose different routes to just have a certain ways. Okay, that's the easy way, and the second path I'm just going to put on as an additional video. Great. Today we talked about tools and designing for prototyping. We designed an application that will help Lisa, and we covered some common pitfalls within UX design. In the next unit, we will cover end-user validation, how to come up quickly with themes with a UI theme designer, and where to pick up the right icon. Until then, thank you and goodbye.